Okay, welcome to another Liquid Bullet Productions. I've got a great guest for you today. Retired gangster, approved schools, Borstal, prison, breaking out of prison, shot at, London club owner and dealing with murder scenes. Mr. John Dixon. Welcome, John. Thanks for
Good
coming.
afternoon to you, young man. It's lovely to be here on this production. But the reason I'm here is to try to educate younger people today. Do not go down the avenue that I went down. Done all right, but having said that, the younger generation today carrying knives like you do and silly guns and ending up in prison for the rest of your life. It just ain't on. It ain't on. I've been in prison with the hardest men in the world, and you wouldn't even go near them. But when they're in there and they're banged up behind that door, I've seen them crying, literally tears running down their face, and they're not hard when they're in there. And I'm saying to you the same. When you're out there with your mates, giving it all the big un, right, and you do something stupid, and you end up in there, and you will end up in that cell with that door shut. You can't see your mum or your dad or your mates anymore. Then you've got to say, was it worth it? Anyway, take it on board. So if you want to listen to the rest of my story, carry on watching. Now, I was brought up in South London, Peckham. We were the poorest people you could come across. We were that poor, the mice used to bring us food. Now, that's poor, mate, I'm telling you. All right? Now, what I used to do, our father left my mum with 5 kids. And we all went down, like I was 5, then it was like 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. And my mum was a proper Irish lady, proper. Come from Wexford. And she's the kind of girl that she would not part with us. When they found out that the father had left, and I'm going back in 1940, 45, 46, 47, 48, the council wanted to take us away and put us in homes. But my mother would not allow it. She didn't want us all broke up. And it was absolutely marvellous. I mean, if she was about today, she could make a movie and it'd be a hit. Anyway, I used to go out, break in the cabs, through the skylight, take a bit of bacon, a few eggs, on a regular basis, so I can take it home and feed my brothers, etc. And the reason I used to go into these cabs, down a little bit of a rope that I've made through the skylight, I could go back on a regular basis, so we could eat regular. But I mean, what a way to live at, a young age. But anyway, as life went on, I got involved with certain people, little gangs, as I was talking about, but we didn't go around stabbing people. We had a lot of respect for one another. All we wanted to do, to be truthful with is to put a donut on the table, to live. That's all we wanted to do, live. And it's the same, which I'll say, take a rat. Everybody hates a rat. A rat has got more respect for a human than a human has for itself. A rat ain't going to come in your house and rape your mum or whatever, ain't going to come and rob you. All it wants to do is live. It wants to feed its kids. That's all it wants to do. So that's what I'm saying. You know, when you're out there, it's called survival. Survival. Now, in my case, because I didn't have no dad, I was the main kid. So, being 5, 6 years of age, I wasn't 5, 6 years of age, I was 25 in my mind, because I had to look after my mum and my 4 brothers, etc. And it was hard, really hard. And then I broke into factories, etc., and started taking their goods and selling it on the open market. I got captured, of course I got captured, you know, and I got put into an approved school. Well, approved schools, me being a little South London boy, and you've got Scousies and Swedes, we used to call them, they'd all make a line to me and beat me up, because I was only a little fellow, ain't much bigger now. But I'd like to meet the guy who would try to beat me up today, because he couldn't catch me because I'm a fast runner. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, so even in approved school I had to fight. And what I used to do, these bullies, when they was with their mates, they thought they was a business. But I used to wait on them in the corridors of the approved schools, right, with a chunk of wood. And when they walked down, I'd jump out and knock fuck out of them, right? And then it soon got round the old approved school. Don't go near little Johnny Dixon, he'll fucking have you. Before you catch up or anything, I'll become the governor. I was the daddy of the approved school, which was Red House Farm School. Now, I'm 82 this year. There's probably some guys out there that might still be alive. If you are, please get in touch with me. But if you are, I mean, you've got to be in your 70s and your 80s, and we could tell stories, because you will know me. Anyway, in them days, you'd get 9 months to 3 years. And I thought, sod this, I'm getting out of here. So I was the best kid on earth, done everything right, done this, done that. And I was the first guy to get out of there in 9 months. It went down in history. Young kid with Peckham, does through school, out in 9 months, not known. Anyway, I was soon back again. I got out in 9 months, back on the streets. Next thing I'm doing, I was only young, couldn't afford a motor car, so I'm nicking motor cars. And I thought, cool, these are nice. The next thing I'm doing, I'm selling the bits off them, the radios, the lights, the mats. And I was nicking a white few quid out of it. I thought, oh, this is easy. So I built a kind of little syndicate up of nicking motor cars in the early days. Now, don't get me wrong, all these people were insured, so they never used to lose any money. They'd get their insurance money. So, you know, they was well covered. So I wasn't kind of robbing the poor. I know a man's motor car is his life. And so, you know, don't look upon me as a bad boy in that way. Look upon me as a young kid in the early 50s trying to earn a living and put food on the table. And that is it.
John, can I just ask then, what sort of age was you there when you was getting involved in the cars?
About 9, 10, yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah.
You was driving the cars as
Yeah,
well? Or?
yeah.
Blimey.
But anyway, when we was in the approved schools, as I said earlier, I'd come out and we started nicking motor cars, etc. Then as I got a little bit older, I got a bit more slippery, so I started making a good business out of motor cars. Now, in them days, it used to have an FA on the key. Didn't have all these steering locks, what they got today. So I go onto a car front and I say, I'm looking for my dad. He wants to buy a car. So I say, go on then, boy, have a look around it, because I was a cheeky little sod. And I clock the number on the key, FP, and then I go to the car accessory shop and say, my dad's lost his key, can I have this key? Like tuppence halfpenny. Bang, got the key. I'd wait for the old car sales to shut down, bang, straight in, zoomed it, off the car front, got the car, lovely. Used to drive about it all the evening, because the police didn't have anything, there was all motorbikes. Or if they see you, they had to run to a blue box on the corner, or blow their whistle. Yeah. As I said, you can't do that today. But them days were great, for people like me. Anyway, I used to go about myself. I was all suited, even in them days. And I used to let other people know, oh, this is my motor. God, John, that's a nice one. And then they thought, and I'd get a lot of respect from people because they thought I was like 10 years of age and I got motor cars. They go, how's he doing it? Oh, I'll say I've done a few little bits here, I've done a few little bits there. Yeah, cool, lovely. Right, anyway, I put the car back, polish it a little bit. Nobody knew any different. Next day, I got another car front, got the key, down at the car accessory shop. Next day, I got a Jaguar, driving about in that, giving it a big one. But as time goes on, I thought, fuck this, the car's not going back. I'd ring it. I put a few number plates on, change the number plates, etc. And sell them for about 15 quid. A lot of money in the 50s, £15. And I'd sell them and I was getting a right little few quid in my back pocket. And as life went on, of course I got captured. I had to get captured, didn't I? Right? And ended up in Borstal. I got three years in London sessions in Borstal.
John, can I just ask you, like Borstals, are they like, have you ever seen the film with Ray Winston, what's it called? What's that, Scum?
Scum, yeah.
Is it Borstal that?
Yeah.
Like, is it like that in real life?
Worse than that.
Worse, yeah?
Fucking right it is. I used to see kids fucking one another.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if they come near me, they wouldn't have had a dick to fucking go out with. On my life, I was in them prisons and all that, mate, and I'm to tell you that, I'm still a virgin today. Right, that section. But anyway, that's another story.
Right, what about the screws in there? Did they beat you up and stuff?
Yeah, well, we didn't have screws like in uniform in Baltic. They had civvies, we used to call them civvies. And, oh mate, they were so bad. You know, again, because I was a little fella, they'd take liberty, and being a Londoner, everybody hates a Londoner, you know. All right, mate, what you doing, you know what I mean? They hated us. And so they used to come in my little room and that and knock the fuck out of me, just for the pleasure that they could do it. And I used to see them abusing kids. Couldn't do nothing about it. And the kids, some of the kids used to be crying all day, because don't forget, only young kids, you know, and it used to wind me up big time against society, against the police, and I did become, you know, bad about it. But let's backtrack to my earlier day when it was school days. I wouldn't go to school at all, and every school I went to, I got disqualified. The teachers, because after about 4 months, the whole school was working for me. So, you know, it went round South London. So the only school they could find was a backward school. And I used to have a bus pull up at my house, and I'd have all the kids in the windows go, ugh. But they wanted me to have education. I only lasted a week. They slung me out of there. They said, look, there's nothing wrong with him. There ain't a thing wrong with him, so why have we got him? And they said, well, he's got to have education. So when they had the chance to put me into an approved school, and that's where I think the reason I did end up, because my mother see that I was going down the wrong road and she couldn't do nothing about it. That's how I think I ended up in a approved school. But as I said earlier, I made approved school to my benefit. I learned a few things, learned how to write. But when I went to Borstal, I used that to my advantage. It made me learn how to earn a few quid, how to talk to people. There's a few sides to me. I can be the politest man in the world. I can mix with the rich. I can mix with the poor. I can mix with a total down and out person, and I will treat him with respect the same I would treat a rich man. In fact, if I had a penny in my pocket, he could have it. And I have done that. Anyway, as we go on. So then, back to the cars. So we started, so I ended up in Borstal. And when I was in Borstal, I was in there with Johnny Bindon. You must have heard of Johnny Bindon. Google him. And we become good friends. He ended up, I think, going out with Princess Margaret. And he's a big name. And but as I say, back to Borstal, you must have watched the film Scum. Well, that's nothing compared to what happened in Borstal. They used to put glass in the soap. So when you go to wash your hands, before you even knew it, your hands were torn to pieces.
Who done that? The other people in there, or like
The Screws used to do it.
Really?
Yeah, they used to, the night watchman, break bits of glass and put them in the fucking soaps and all that. Yeah, it was nasty, you know. And then in Red House Farm School, it was happening, and then in Loudon Grange. I'm mentioning these places because they know what I'm saying is true. But having said that, again, my age, 82 this year, they're probably all dead now anyway, you know, and I don't speak ill of the dead, so I can't say a lot. But anyway, I've come out of there, and I've come out of there, and again, I've started to go a little bit in the big time, and I met a guy called Eddie Knapp, a proper, what you call a proper gangster with a capital G. And I used to clean their shotguns. Now their shotguns were bigger than me, literally. Now you've got Pinky Blinders, well that's what they always used to dress like in them days. The old cap and the long coats and all that, etc. But I used to clean all the guns, and when they'd done the robberies, they'd bring them back, I'd clean them all up and they'd take them back wherever they took them for. But I used to watch all this, and Eddie Knapp did take me under his wing, and he educated me. He was a great safecracker. I can't talk about him, he's a legend, the man, he's a legend. Everybody look up to him. But he treated me like his son, and I had so much respect for that man, it was unbelievable. And I still talk about him today in a very good way. And then when I come out, I did get into a bit of heavy crime, which I don't really want to talk about. But I earned a lot of money, done a few bits and pieces, and went into the car game at a few car sites around South London. Dixon Motor Company, people probably heard of it. One in Albany Road, one in New Cross Road, one in Peckham Park Road, one in Birmingham Road. I had them all over the place, car sales. And I was doing tremendous. I mean, I'd wake up on a Monday morning and I could spend 10 grand knowing I'd earn 10 grand by Friday. That was in the 60s. That's how good it was. It ain't like it today. So don't get the idea, so that I'm going to go and buy motor cars and do what Johnny Dixon. It ain't like that at all today. It's a bit harder. But anyway, then, you know, I've got a few quid behind me, etc. So I bought the old nightclub, opened up a nightclub. Because the reason I opened that nightclub, they used to go over to Astor's nightclub. And I used to watch all these dealers spending all their money. And I thought, like, what's going on here? I could have all this money that they're spending. So I thought, right, I opened up a nightclub called Johnny's in Birmingham Road. Same thing. So the Astor Club lost a lot of money because they always used to come to me. And back again, my bar used to be smothered with them Pinky Blinders. Look, I say Pinky Blinders because you can relate to them with the long coats. And they used to stand at the bar with their eyes and their hands in their pockets looking like that at each one another, thinking that way he's going to chip me in a minute. Oh, I can't do it with him. Oh, it was funny to watch it, it really was. And then I had a murder in there, geezers murdered another geezer. And I thought, oh, fuck me, this is the end of the club game. But anyway, the old bill, I can't believe it. They've asked me to sort it. Fucking me, I sort it.
Anyway, well, you had to sort the actual murder?
Yeah. Well, to bring it out.
Yeah.
So they didn't go in there. See, again, in them days, they didn't have all the guns, the police and all that. And anyway, I did sort it out, and, you know, it was all done. Happy endings.
I'll just ask you, John, how did that feel like when you went down and found a dead body? What was sort of going through your mind?
No, nothing.
Just dealt with it?
Yeah, I thought, poor cunt. You know, I thought, oh, God. You know? No, I didn't. You don't think, I thought, oh, I thought, I didn't think, I thought, well, you know, what's going on, Miami, you know, things like, I mean, I have seen a few dead people in my life, I must admit, and most of them deserve to be dead. Again, I ain't going to go down that story, but I would love to make a movie, and if I made a movie, I would open up, you know, and it would be a good one. and not like these silly movies they make today, you know. But anyway, you know, I was at that club game and that, and then the next thing I know, I got involved with some heavy people and that. Now, a good friend of mine, Leslie Westwood, good drinking friend of mine, and I'm friends with his son today, Ray Westwood. We're good pals. We're good chess players and we play chess a lot. But his dad, he was a runner for the Crays, because the Crays wouldn't come up to South London because the Richardsons didn't want them over here. So Les Westwood, he used to be the runner, and he'd do the talking about, and then he'd talk to me about various things, you know, in there, out there, because we were good drinking partners, me and Les. And then we was drinking at his house one day, and that Bond, he's the most wanted criminal, done that copper up north. We was all in there having a drink, but we were drinking and talking. We weren't drinking and talking about what we'd done, what we were gonna do. We were drinking like normal people do in a pub. Weather's nice, how's the wife, you know, any more kids on the way, you know, all sensible. And then, you know, his life went on. I become a proper gentleman. I thought, you know, bought a few houses, used to rent them out, get a bit of rent out of them, and you know, I got married. I've been married. Hang on, I got to think here. 3 times. I think 3 times. Let's go for 3 times.
It must cost you a fortune.
No, I love a wedding cake. I just love a wedding cake. Yeah. But the girl I'm with today, Sue, she's given me 3 lovely children. Sam, Christopher, Sam and Jade, my daughter. I couldn't wish for 3 better children. I have got other boys, Johnny and Colin and Ian. I've got loads of grandchildren, which I'm so proud of them all, really proud of them all. And but if it weren't for my kids today, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Because they have kept me young, kept me on my toes. Literally, I feel that I feel they're the dad and I'm the fucking baby. The way they talk to me, you know. But
John, can I just step back a bit there? When you said about the Richardsons and the Crays, did you ever have any dealings with them yourself?
Only had a drink.
Yeah.
See, I had a drink with them and Joey Pyle. I used to drink in the old car sales down in Peckham. He used to go in there regular. I used to go in there and he sort of that nice bloke. Again, all nice people. You know, it's what the tabloids make of people.
Yeah.
You know, and like Eddie Knapp, they tried to do him for a murder on a bank robbery. But at the time the bank robbery was taking place and the geezer got killed, he was robbing a safe in Tower Bridge at the same time. So what he had to do, he said to me, he's talking to me, I'm only a kid. John, what do? Do I put my hands up to the safe break? Or do I put my hands up to the... and I said, well, you got the cons of it, ain't you? Me personally, I'll go for the safe because you'd only get, I don't know what, you get 5 years, but you go for the other one, you get, don't manslaughter, I get 10, 12 years. But I can't believe it. He said, John, what I'm going to do, mate, I'm going to go to the safe. Well, you've got to go for that because it's your alibi. Yeah. It's your only alibi. So that's it. And then I met him in Worthing Scrubs doing his bit of porridge. And when he see me, like, he's fucking gone mental, wasn't he? Because he wanted a better life for me, you know? And when all the cons in Worthing Scrubs knew that Eddie, you know, knew me and all that, wherever I went, I was the man. I didn't have to line up the food or nothing. It'd be on the table ready for me because of Eddie. Did you get me? Yeah, and that was it. But
can I just ask you, obviously you mentioned about being in prison.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us, what did you actually get sent down for yourself?
Well, it was a conspiracy £1 million conspiracy to rob a company, and we got it, but I only got 3 years on it, so you know that was. Then another time, me and my brother Denny, we got this guy in Stoke Newington had a car sales, which we was going to buy off of him, but we knew that he was going to rump us, so we weren't silly, so we rumped him first, right? And I ended up getting a fucking 15 months in prison over it, stupidly. Ended up on the island, and I couldn't cope with it, so I broke out. And I was out for about 6 years, and I got fed up with looking over my shoulder, so I knocked on the door, let me back. I want to finish my bit of porridge off.
Oh, you actually went back to prison
yeah.
Blimey.
And then me and my brother Danny, we got done on another thing, and he ended up getting probation. I ended up getting a few years on it, and I ended up in Brixton prison, and had a bit of a row with a screw and all that, and they put me in a straitjacket and in a padded cell, because they thought I was a fucking nutcase. But when the psychos come down and met me, they realised I wasn't. I was a proper geezer. There wasn't nothing wrong with me. But I just was retaliating against authority. Because this screw thought he was a dog's bollocks with his fucking head down there. People will know what I'm talking about. And I hate people poking me. People poking me, they sin up, I just can't cope with it. Right? And so I ended up in the padded cell. But they couldn't put me back on the prison, because if I'd gone back on the prison, they would have beat me to death, all the other screws and that. So they put me into Portsmouth, which is a military prison. They thought, put him in there, he won't fuck about. Anyway, I hit the military prison, come down, but the first night about 10 fucking screws come in, knocked the fuck out of me, black and blue, mate, literally. I couldn't walk for a month, But they didn't care, because they all knew. Even you go down, you report sick, they'd give you another fucking kicking. And you had a double march everywhere. We used to get soup. I never had soup in my life. Because when I got back to me Peter, the fucking soup was gone. Because you had a double march everywhere, you couldn't walk.
How do you deal with that mentally? There must be a lot of pressure on you to...
Well, I broke out. I thought, fuck that, I'm staying here. I thought, I ain't having this, I'm breaking out of here.
How did you actually escape? How did you get
out?
So
I got a job on the cleaners to clean up after the other cons. Which is fucking privilege. Yeah, I'll clean your fucking shoes, mate. Bing. Just to get out of that fucking marching and all that. Anyway, I was lucky enough to get on the cleaners, and I done my bit on the cleaners, and we had to take all the gear to the incinerators. So while I'm down there, I thought, God, whatever, it's tomato plants, sticks, rope. And the old screws used to have a cigarette, and they'd say to me, Dixon's, take your time, took me time. I was making a fucking ladder out of all the tomato plants, right? So I've made this ladder, I had to take the gardener, and I had to take the geezer with me. Again, if you're watching, please contact me. And over the wall we went, kapow, right? I got a taxi home, got the bill. Someone met me in London to pay the bill, because I did not want any more charges against me, because when you break out there, they put any cars nicked, bang, they nicked them. I weren't having that. So what I did, I got the bill, sent the taxi bill to the prison governor, saying, look, that's how I got home, I come home in the taxi. Here's my bill to prove I ain't nicked no motor cars, right? So that was it. Anyway, 6 years went past. I knocked on the door, let me back, I want to finish my bit of porridge off, all right? So when I was in there...
did you get extra time because of escaping or?
No, I was in as it happens. No, I was just...
Quite lucky really, they normally give extra time.
Yeah, I done my bit of porridge, went back in there. But I forgot to mention, when I escaped from the island, Isle of Sheppey, when I escaped, I was cross-charged with my brother on that car front job, the 15-monther, right? I was cross-charged. So I thought, hang on, I'm cross-charged. If my brother Denny says he wants to leave the country to Australia, he's got to have a clean record, because we was on a not guilty. on his side, because they'd done me. So he went to the High Court. Christopher Mitchell, QC, lovely man, he's retired now. When he'd speak in court, the whole court would rattle. He was that powerful, QC. And then he ended up a judge. Good luck to you. Yourself, you won't watch this, but you're the man. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, Christopher Mitchell took it to the High Court, got me brother Capel cleared. The judges said it was an unsafe conviction, dismissed. Bang, cross-charged with me, I'm dismissed. But now I'm on the trot, they can't deal with me. They said, you've got to give yourself up to the prison, back on the island, and then they got to release you on the £5 bail. Never been heard of. So I've knocked on the door, let me back, right? So I got down at 7 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to be home for breakfast at 8 o'clock. Anyway, they dragged me, fucking bad. My feet never touched the ground. Up the block, right, banged me up. I said, what are you doing? You can't hold me in here. They said, we can nick you for one thing, you broke out of here. Right, we can have you for 6 months on that. That's a criminal charge. They didn't. They didn't charge me with that, but anyway, that's what they were doing. But I went in on a Friday. They kept me awake from Friday to Monday morning. I come out of there black and blue, where they used to beat me up because I was taking the piss out of them. The governor could only sign the release form, and he was on holiday till Monday. Was he? I heard him outside laughing, outside the cell. Literally, I heard him. But he weren't, so...
Playing the game, yeah.
They played the game on me. Anyway, they signed me out, went up the old court, bang, bang. Now, I've got to be the only man that's broke out of prison, gone back in prison, and they've let me out. Yeah. They can look at any paperwork, you can do what you want. I am the only man in the whole of the fucking planet, I think, who's broke out of prison, walked back in prison, and gone back out again.
That's it.
You know, but anyway, there's stories that I can tell. So what I'm saying, then listen, can I say one thing? You've got a lot of these trolls out there, call them trolls, people that you don't know me. I've always been in the background. I'm still about today. I didn't spend all my life in prison because I was a slippery little fucking, whatever you want to call me. I never got captured. Sometimes I did a little bit, but I took all that on board, worked it out, and I never got captured again. And I was even in a police diary. Any man that can catch Dixon gets a bottle of champagne. That was in a police diary.
Really?
Yeah, you know. And I used to carry shooters and guns. I had special coats made to carry my guns. But all they could do is take them off you. So, and that's all they did. You couldn't do it today. Back to square one, what I'm saying about youngsters, you can't do all that today. But I moved in different circles. And if you watch this and you love it, subscribe to it, and if you like it and you give enough feedback on it, I'll come back again and I'll tell you some really meaty stuff, really that'll keep you awake at night. So enjoy life, and I mean that. Take some on board what I said, and lovely meeting you.
John, can I just jump in a little bit deeper?
Yeah, go on.
Things before we finish up. So obviously, can I ask you, what is a gangster? Can you describe what is a gangster?
There's lots of phrases of gangsters. See, to be a gangster, you're a syndicate of a little gang. And a gangster is somebody that cannot tolerate authority. In other words, the police. They cannot authority, and they cannot toe the line. If you say don't do that, they will do that. But they're not nasty people that will just shoot the man in the street. Wars with gangsters is amongst themselves. Not the postman, the candlestick maker and the butcher. No, nothing like that. So when you meet a gangster, shake his hand. He's a top geezer. He won't hurt you. That's my... And there's tiers of gangsters for gangsters, but I'm on the lower tier, which is the best one to be on. I'm not an Al Capone's lot where they line them up against the wall and shoot them. No, I'm on the third tier. which is the best one to be on, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. John, can I just ask you a little bit more about prison? So,
Yeah.
when you was in there, what sort of people was you in there with, and how did that affect your own sort of mindset? And
Well, yeah, I was in there, as I said, with Bindon, top name out now, Bindon, and a few other names. See, I used prison to my advantage. I learned to play chess, for one. I'm a great chess player. Today, I love it. I don't stop playing it, even last night. The computers can't beat me. Everybody I played, nice people who played it all their life, I fucking do them. Because I just love it, and I learned that, and I learned how to respect people. And the best weapon in the world, better than any of your knives and your guns, is kindness and politeness. That will break any hard man you want to meet. And I'll tell you now, I would cross the road with nobody, but I would cross the road to shake the hand of Bronson, the man. In my book, he's the man, Bronson.
Yeah, what the authorities have done to him in there is sort of bad of order, really, isn't they?
Yeah.
Because his crime was robbing the jewellers, and he's in there longer than pedos and all sorts of people. Wasn't
Exactly. I mean, when I was in there, I've seen pedos get beat up and cut up. I've seen guys had their fucking cocks fucking stuck up their arse. I've seen it all, mate. You know, I can't say too much because it could offend.
Yeah.
You know, but if you come back, I'll come back to Liquid
definitely.
Bullet, and we'll go again, and I'll be a bit more open.
Yeah.
But you've got to subscribe. Not asking you for money or anything like that, or a donut. Just subscribe, and we go from there.
Like and share.
Yeah. So,
John, I'm just going to ask you, we're talking about sort of corruption and authorities. There's a guy inside prison now, isn't there, who's innocent, Jason Moore?
Yeah, Jason Moore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about Jason, every man in prison is not guilty. I never done it. Sometimes you want to fucking slap them, stand up and be a man. But poor Jason, how do you want to be in prison and you ain't done it, and you know you ain't done it? It's heartbreaking. I could cry for that man. That man needs respect from the authorities. The authorities have got to look into him. I don't know what's stopping them. When you read the write-up about that poor man, I cannot believe he's still in prison. I don't know if they're scared to let him go and it's going to cost them a lot of money in compensation. I do not know. But that man, hand on my heart, should not be in prison.
He was charged with no evidence, no DNA, no CCTV, no nothing, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Crazy.
We will put some things in the podcast for you to read about this poor guy. But having said that, it's a wicked world out there, wicked world. And you've got to be one step in front.
John, can I just ask you, what does the future hold for you now? Is there anything like, going to do a book or anything like that?
I'd love to do a book, and I'd love to do a movie.
Yeah?
I'd love to do a movie. And I feel my movie would be, I would open up in the movie and bring things up. Not all these other movies out of bed, but I've got to find a man daring enough, with enough arsehole to do it with me, and he'll never look back. I mean, I've had it all, Rolls Royces, clubhouses with swimming pools. I lived the life. People that know me know I lived the life today. I'm a pensioner. I live on my pension. I go down the post office, line up with all the old age pensions, and then I'll get my little bit of money. And I'll go to McDonald's and get myself a McDonald's, because I get fuck all indoors.
Can I just ask you, is there, obviously if you didn't take the path that you went down, the sort of gangster path, is there any dream you had as a kid that you sort of would have wanted to be? If you did,
I always wanted to be a successful businessman. And I did do it.
Yeah.
I did do it. I haven't mentioned a bit, but I will do in the next episode if you want it. In the next episode, I will tell you how to become a millionaire. Literally. If you don't, jump off a fucking bridge.
So, is there any words of advice you've got for the youngsters?
As I said earlier, you're out there with your little mates and doing all this and giving it all the big and, you know, and you're in these little gangs and you want to look good. Take on board what I said earlier. I was banged up with the hardest criminals in the world behind closed doors and they're crying their eyes out. Literally. To lose that little bit where you can't go home, open your front door, can't go to the toilet without dinging a bell. Mate, it's priceless and it ain't worth it for like 10 minutes of beating somebody up or stabbing them. It ain't worth it. Look, if you want to have a chat with me and you're going down that line, get in touch with me and I'll talk to you. And I'll talk to me a bit, you know, raw. I can assure you, you'll give it up. I'm not saying you'll go and get a job, but you will give it up.
Where can people find you, John, if they need to get in contact with you or want to chat? Any
well, through the feedback
media?
on this.
Yeah,
through the feedback on this. If you leave a number or something, I'll contact you. And if you're a genuine person, I might get involved with you. But you've got to be genuine. If you're not genuine, I'll suss you straight out.
Yeah. Is there anything in the future that you may do, like sort of talks or go to schools and educate?
Well, if I was
people or
asked, I
something
would.
like that?
Yeah, if I was asked. I'll tell you what I would love. I really would. To take on the worst prison in the UK. Put me in there for a couple of weeks and I'll bring it under control. I know, the worst prison. Right, I know I can do that. I'd love to do that.
John, before we finish up, obviously, you spoke about being shot. Can you run us through how being shot and where you got shot?
Well, it was the early days in Peckham again. We had little gangs of war, and I'm going up Aders Road towards Goose Green, and these couple of kids jumped out of the bushes. We got you. Now, I don't think for 1 minute they wanted to shoot me. I just think, bang, it happened. So I got shot in the eye, blinded in one eye. You know, so when people say
Lucky,
to me...
really, it didn't go straight
Well,
through.
yeah, hang on, yeah, what happened? It went into, right in the centre bullseye, lodged at the back of my eye. The surgeons at the Royal Eye Hospital said to my mum, he can keep the eye, and he could probably see from the eye, but a bit blur. But that pellet at the back of his eye will travel over the years and send him loopy. He'll go to his brain. We've got to take it out. But they give my mum, and I woke up in the middle of the operation, my eye was on my cheek.
Oh.
And I thought, fuck me, that's my foot.
Did you actually still...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I could see. And I heard my mum saying, can I have one of my eyes? You know, to hear that, you know what I mean? And I thought, fuck that, she's got blue eyes. But anyway, I got on with life, it's never held me back.
Yeah.
In a million years, I've still done my bit. No one's ever been brave enough to take the piss out of me. Even when I was in prisons, you know, it's never held me back. And I mean, the only thing I would have liked to get in the ring, and because of that, I can't get in the ring.
Yeah.
I did get in the ring a few times when I was in, because I didn't mention Stamford House. Stamford House, yeah, when I was in Stamford House, before I was in Stamford House as a teenager, I was about 14, and I was in Stamford House. I got in the ring there for the fight, and that, fucking hard work. I'll tell you now, you see people in these rings fighting, you want to get in there, you won't last 3 minutes, you'll be knackered. He wouldn't want to knock you out, you're just fucking knackered.
That's it, yeah.
I'll tell you, I've had it. I know about it. But anyway, when I was in Stamford House in Shepherd's Bush, I was saying to all the other kids, like, when you're 16, you can't be in here because you're juvenile.
Yeah.
They got to let me go. So I'm giving it all the big and I'm out of here, My birthday, bang, bang. June the 19th, come, bang. Come on, Dixon, you're out. Oh, wee. Put me clothes on. They said, go in that room there. And all of a sudden, two fucking geezers come in, all suited up in prison uniforms, right? Blocked the sky out, they were that big. 4 of us, young man. Straight out, they ran to Wormer Scrubs. 16, my 16th birthday, I spent in Worm and scrubs. Again, I bet if they look at their records, I'm the only kid to spend his 16th birthday in Worm and Scrubs with all them killers and fucking gangsters. No wonder I turned out a professional, well-liked, well-respected gangster.
I'll just ask you before we finish up. So they sort of put you in these prisons, don't they, and like try and rehabilitate you.
Yeah.
But do you find, because you're in there with sort of sometimes bigger fish, bigger gangsters, do you find that you feed off them and you come out worse? Or?
No, you don't come out worse. You can come out worse if you're a divo. If you're born a divo, you'll always be a divo.
Yeah.
Right? If you're born with a sensible brain, you'll educate that brain. And you'll get out there. Don't matter if you go out with nothing in your pocket, you'll always come home with enough money to put a donut on the table for your family.
Yeah.
It all depends. But there's geezers out there that don't want to do nothing. All they don't want to do is drugs and drink. You know, they're killing themselves. You know, even their families don't respect them. You know, you should take, if you're watching it, you should take on board, mate, and get yourself together. Get yourself a job.
John, really enjoyed listening to your story. It's been fascinating. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
You mean that?
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it.